This exercise is a slap and pop groove that uses fretting hand slaps and double stops. Let's see how it's played. So the first thing that you're going to do is slap an open E string with the thumb. We're going to follow that with a fretting hand slap, which would be a dead note, and then we're going to play 2 further dead notes with the thumb. It's going to sound like this. Okay, moving on to beat 2, we're going to pop the first double stop. Now double stop is simply 2 notes played at once. And we're going to pop these with the first and second fingers of your picking hand. And the notes in question are going to be the G at the 5th fret of the D string and the D at the 7th fret of the G string. And we're going to follow those with an open E string. So the first 2 beats of the bar are going to sound like this. And again. Okay, moving on to the third beat of the bar, we're going to play dead note with the thumb, an open E string with the thumb, a fretting hand slap, and then another dead note with the thumb. So that's 4 notes. Okay, the fourth beat is a popped dead note on the G string, a dead note with the thumb, and then we're going to play the second double stop chord, which is an F sharp and a D. So it's a bit like taking the first double stop chord and just lowering the G down to the F sharp. So that's the first bar, which should sound like this. And again. Okay, moving on to the second bar. This bar begins in exactly the same way as the first. The only difference is that the double stop chord that we play, we're going to move down to E and B at the 2nd and 4th frets of the D and G strings. The end of the bar features a syncopated phrase, which is double stop fourths. So we begin on an A and a D at the 7th fret of the D and G strings, and we're just going to move that up chromatically twice more, so we land on the B and the E at the 9th fret. And what we're going to do is we're just going to bounce the thumb along in between, just playing dead notes, which will sound something a bit like this. And again. Okay, so the first 2 bars are going to sound like this. Okay, now that's the bulk of the exercise. The 3rd and 4th bars are pretty much identical to the first 2. The only difference is in the 4th bar. The syncopated double stops that we play in the 4th bar are slightly different. So we're going to move away from these fourths and we're going to play some diminished fifths instead. The first of these is going to be the C at the 10th fret of the D string and the F sharp at the 11th fret of the G string. And we're going to move those up chromatically twice more until we land on the D and G sharp at the 12th and 13th frets. Now the reason we're going for those notes is that we're seeking to imply an E dominant 7th chord sound at this point. So we've got E as our bass, and we're going to play the D, which is the minor 7th of the chord, and the G sharp, which is the major 3rd. Okay, and then that entire 4-bar line is repeated. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the latest bass lick of the week. If you'd like to download the PDF worksheet and backing tracks, just head to resources.basslinepublishing.com and follow the instructions on screen. I'll see you next week for another bass groove.